South Africa, a country rich in resources and culture, battles a persistent economic challenge, unemployment, and inequality. The economic landscape is marred by stark contrasts, where opulence and poverty coexist, leading to social tensions. The country's economy struggles under the weight of a high unemployment rate, which was recorded at 31.9% in the fourth quarter of 2024. Despite a slight improvement, the numbers remain daunting, indicating a systemic issue that needs addressing. The gap between the rich and poor is not just a statistical figure, it's a lived experience for many South Africans. This disparity fuels frustration and unrest, manifesting in social and sometimes violent protests. The ambitious dreams of the youth are often dashed against the harsh realities of an unforgiving job market. Economic inequality is more than an economic issue. It's a social crisis threatening to dismantle the fabric of society. The roots of these economic issues are tangled in the country's history and policies. South Africa's economy is a complex tapestry woven from years of colonialism, apartheid, and efforts at democratic reforms. While strides have been made, the journey towards economic equality is fraught with challenges. The need for effective solutions is urgent, as the economic disparities continue to threaten social cohesion and economic progress. The following sections delve into the intricacies of unemployment and inequality, examining their causes, impacts, and the tentative steps towards resolution. From youth unemployment to government intervention, each aspect contributes to an understanding of South Africa's ongoing struggle and the potential pathways to change. Unemployment in South Africa is a persistent issue that impacts all facets of life. The official unemployment rate, despite a slight decrease to 31.9% in late 2024, remains one of the highest globally. This rate reflects a harsh reality where millions are seeking jobs without success. The expanded unemployment rate, which includes discouraged job seekers, paints an even bleaker picture at 41.9%. Understanding these figures requires a look at the broader economic context. South Africa's labor market struggles with structural issues that have developed over decades. There is a significant disconnect between available jobs and the skills of the labor force. The economy, while diverse, does not generate sufficient employment opportunities to absorb the growing number of job seekers each year. The impact of such high unemployment is far-reaching. It affects household incomes, limiting access to essential services like healthcare and education. This, in turn, perpetuates a cycle of poverty that is difficult to break. The psychological toll of unemployment also cannot be overstated, as it erodes individuals' sense of purpose and belonging. Efforts to combat unemployment are ongoing, but progress is slow. Economic reforms, education initiatives, and investment in infrastructure are some strategies employed, yet the results have been mixed. The challenge remains to create a sustainable plan that not only reduces unemployment, but also narrows the gap between the rich and poor. Youth unemployment is perhaps the most alarming aspect of South Africa's economic woes. With a youth unemployment rate of 44.6%, nearly half of the young population aged 15 to 34 are without jobs. This statistic highlights a generation at risk of being lost to economic inactivity, with profound implications for the country's future prosperity. The high rate of youth unemployment is a reflection of systemic issues within the education and economic systems. Many young people emerge from the education system with qualifications that do not align with market needs. There is a significant skills mismatch that leaves them ill-prepared for the jobs that are available, contributing to their prolonged job search. The consequences of youth unemployment extend beyond economic losses. It leads to increased crime rates, as disenfranchised youth turn to illicit activities out of desperation. This situation also exacerbates social unrest, as young people feel marginalized and voiceless in their communities. The lack of opportunities fosters a sense of hopelessness that can have long-lasting effects on mental health and societal stability. Addressing youth unemployment requires targeted interventions. These include revamping the education system to align more closely with industry needs, providing incentives for businesses to hire young workers, and fostering entrepreneurship. Empowering the youth is key to unlocking South Africa's economic potential and creating a more equitable society. Apartheid may have officially ended decades ago, but its legacy continues to haunt South Africa's labor market. Racial disparities in employment are stark, with Black South Africans consistently facing higher unemployment rates than their white counterparts. This inequality is a significant barrier to social and economic progress, perpetuating divisions within society. The historical context of racial inequality in employment cannot be ignored. Policies from the apartheid era systematically disadvantaged Black South Africans, limiting their access to quality education and economic opportunities. Despite reforms, these effects linger, manifesting in the labor market as unequal opportunities and wages. Efforts to address racial disparities have seen mixed results. Affirmative action policies and Black economic empowerment (BE) initiatives aim to level the playing field, yet challenges remain. Critics argue that these measures sometimes lead to unintentional consequences, such as tokenism or reverse discrimination, which complicate the intended outcomes. Reducing racial disparities requires a multifaceted approach that addresses both economic and social aspects. This includes enforcing fair hiring practices, supporting small businesses in disadvantaged communities, and ensuring equitable access to education and training. Bridging the racial gap in employment is not only a moral imperative, but a necessity for national unity and prosperity. Section 5. The social fabric, inequality, and tensions. Economic inequality in South Africa is more than a statistic. It's a lived reality that affects the nation's social fabric. The disparity between the wealthy and the poor is striking, with the richest 10% holding more than half of the country's wealth. This inequality breeds social tensions that threaten to unravel the delicate threads of community cohesion. The impact of inequality is visible in daily life. In urban areas, luxurious neighborhoods exist side by side with sprawling informal settlements. This juxtaposition is a constant reminder of the economic divide, fostering resentment and frustration among those who feel left behind. Social tensions often manifest in protests and strikes, as citizens demand more equitable distribution of resources. Inequality also affects social mobility, making it difficult for individuals from disadvantaged backgrounds to improve their circumstances. Limited access to quality education, healthcare, and employment opportunities perpetuates a cycle of poverty. This cycle is not just an economic issue, it's a human one, affecting individuals' dignity and sense of self-worth. Addressing inequality requires systemic changes that promote fairer distribution of wealth and opportunities. This includes progressive taxation, investment in public services, and policies that support inclusive growth. By tackling inequality, South Africa can pave the way for a more just and harmonious society where everyone has the chance to thrive. Section 6. Coalition Government, A New Hope. In June 2024, South Africa witnessed a significant political shift with the formation of a coalition government. This development followed the African National Congress losing its parliamentary majority, leading to a partnership with the market-friendly Democratic Alliance and smaller parties. This political change has sparked both optimism and skepticism regarding its potential impact on unemployment and inequality. The coalition government has introduced policies aimed at boosting investor confidence and stimulating economic growth. These policies have resulted in a modest decline in unemployment rates, offering a glimmer of hope for the future. The coalition's pro-business stance is seen as a positive step towards creating more job opportunities and attracting foreign investment. However, the coalition faces significant challenges in balancing economic reforms with social welfare needs. Critics argue that a focus on market-friendly policies could exacerbate existing inequalities if not managed carefully. Ensuring that economic growth translates into tangible benefits for all citizens, particularly the marginalized, is a complex task requiring nuanced approaches. The success of the coalition government in addressing unemployment and inequality will depend on its ability to implement inclusive policies that foster economic opportunities for all. By prioritizing both economic growth and social equity, the government can pave the way for a more prosperous and unified South Africa. Section 7. Sectoral shifts, gains and losses. South Africa's economy is a dynamic entity, with different sectors experiencing varied growth patterns. Recent data from the fourth quarter of 2024 highlights both gains and losses across various industries, reflecting the complex nature of the job market. While sectors like finance and manufacturing have seen employment increases, others such as community services and trade have faced declines. The finance sector, with an increase of 232,000 jobs, showcases the potential for growth in knowledge-based industries. Similarly, manufacturing added 41,000 jobs, indicating a positive trend in industrial production. These sectors offer promising avenues for job creation, particularly for individuals with relevant skills and qualifications. Conversely, sectors like community services and trade have struggled, shedding jobs and reflecting broader economic challenges. These losses are concerning as they impact a significant portion of the workforce, particularly those in lower-skilled positions. The construction sector also saw a decline, highlighting the need for revitalization in infrastructure development. Understanding these sectoral shifts is crucial for formulating effective employment policies. By identifying growth areas and supporting struggling sectors, the government can create a more balanced and resilient economy. Encouraging innovation and investment in high-potential industries will be key to long-term economic stability and employment growth. Section 8. Skills Mismatch, the underlying issue. One of the critical barriers to addressing unemployment in South Africa is the skills mismatch between job seekers and available positions. This issue is particularly pronounced among young people, whose education and training often do not align with market demands. The mismatch not only hinders job growth, but also stifles economic development. The education system plays a significant role in this dilemma. Many young South Africans leave school without the necessary skills for the modern job market, resulting in a workforce that is ill-equipped to meet industry needs. This gap between education and employment requirements is a fundamental issue that requires urgent attention. Addressing the skills mismatch involves reforming the education system to align more closely with economic demands. This includes emphasizing technical and vocational training, enhancing STEM education, and fostering partnerships between educational institutions and industries. By equipping the workforce with relevant skills, South Africa can improve employment rates and drive economic growth. Stakeholders, including the government, private sector, and educational institutions, must collaborate to develop comprehensive strategies for skill development. Bridging the skills gap will not only reduce unemployment, but also empower individuals to contribute meaningfully to the economy, fostering a more inclusive and dynamic job market. Section 9. Conclusion: Pathways to Improvement. South Africa's struggle with unemployment and inequality is a complex and multifaceted issue that requires concerted efforts from all sectors of society. While challenges remain, there are pathways to improvement that can lead to a more equitable and prosperous future. Addressing these economic issues is crucial for social cohesion and national progress. Potential solutions include fostering inclusive economic growth, investing in education and skills development, and implementing policies that promote social equity. The coalition government's recent initiatives offer a starting point, but sustained and collaborative efforts are needed to ensure long-term success. By focusing on both economic and social dimensions, South Africa can create a more balanced and resilient society. The road ahead is challenging, but with commitment and innovation, there is hope for change. Empowering the youth, addressing racial disparities, and reducing inequality are critical steps towards a brighter future. By working together, South Africans can build an economy that benefits all citizens, paving the way for a more just and harmonious nation. Ultimately, the journey towards resolving unemployment and inequality is a shared responsibility. It requires the collective will of the government, businesses, and communities to create a society where everyone has the opportunity to thrive. With determination and collaboration, South Africa can overcome its economic challenges and achieve lasting prosperity.